Wait, where are they? Oh, come in!
Hello!
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 Welcome to another adventure in Shuland.
Welcome back.
Welcome! As you can see, it's again a wonderful field trip. And boy, is it hot and muggy today in Shuland. Ooh, I'm gonna need a minute to catch my breath after all that running around we did, Captain Crow.
I know, we were running around outside so frantically.
Frantically. I can only imagine how much out of breath those geese have.
Yes, they look like they've been
Quack.
flapping so hard.
Quack. Quack.
Yes. All right then. So, today we have a wonderful, wonderful day planned out for you. We are going to be talking about the wonderful ancient civilization of China.
China!
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 It's very, very old, and I think one of the coolest parts about China is all of the different things that they've invented that we use today. And we're going to go ahead and get right on into it. And we're going to go ahead and start with just a little bit of a timeline as we go over some of the things with China. Now, when we're talking about something as old as China, what we're going to have to go so far back that we are in the BC years. And the way that works is a little bit different than we count today. So we count, if we were going to go all the way back to year 1, it's 2020 right now. If we were going to go all the way back, we're counting up. Year 2, year 3, year 4, right? All the way up to 2019, and then 2020, and then 2021. But if we go all the way back to the beginnings of China in BC, we're going to be counting the opposite way. The older we go, the higher the years are. Now, historically, what does BC mean? It means before Christ, and we're talking about Jesus, and we're counting up to essentially when he comes into existence historically. So, that's kind of to keep in your head, and then after that, we're going to be counting away from that time period. So, if we're going to go all the way back to the earliest evidence of something happening in China, we're going to go all the way back to 1766 BC, and that is the earliest evidence of China and people in China doing archery. So that is a very, very old time to be taking some bows and turn them into sticks. I mean, taking some sticks and turn them into bows and shooting deer or whatever for your own food and probably your enemies. Which brings me to the next thing on our timeline. The Shang Dynasty is when we get the first written documentation of a established civilization in China, and that is going to be in 16,000 BC, so 1600 BC. So that's basically 166 years after they've been doing archery. Then after that, we're going to jump quite forward, and we're going to get to the invention of the crossbow. We've talked about the crossbow. The Chinese invented the crossbow in 700 BC. And then we get to a very, very important invention, and that is going to be modern paper. So we hear about the Egyptians, they had something like papyrus, and different places had different things. But the paper that we have today, which is basically wood mashed up into pulp and then turned into a piece of paper, the Chinese invented essentially something that is the modern equivalent to what we use today. And they did that 100 BC. Okay, so that is when they invented it. Now, that is when our BC timeline for China is going to kind of end. There's lots of things that happen in there, but we're going to go ahead and get on to some more of the stuff. So now we're going to go into getting into everything that happened in China in AD. Now, cool little thing, a lot of people say that AD stands for after death, but historically it is actually a Latin term called Anno Domini, which actually means in the year of our Lord. And so that's when we're talking about Jesus, and he's born, he exists, and now we're counting away from him in history. So we then have China, and they invented something known as gunpowder or black powder. And that's the stuff, it's black and it goes boom and it's very, 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 very smoky. And I think one of the coolest things, Captain Crow, that they actually used it for was
Fireworks!
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 Fireworks! Fireworks. Fireworks. And so fireworks are super duper cool. We use them on the 4th of July. In China, they still use them all the time on Chinese New Year. And fireworks are super, super duper cool. And so that's really an awesome thing. And so that was invented in 904 AD. So now we're counting away from and up. And so now we're essentially 1,000 years back from now. Give or take a few hundred years or so. But then we have the Mongol Empire, and they come into the scene in China. And well, to the Chinese, the Mongols are not very nice guys. We've talked about them, we've learned about them. They were vicious, fierce, incredibly great warriors on their horses and their archery, and they were able to take over the entire Chinese landmass and conquer it. And it finally gets conquered under a great Mongol Khan named Kublai Khan, all the way back in 1279 BC. So we jumped ahead quite a bit, but it's a pretty significant event. Kublai Khan, he gets it. Now, we talked about the Mongols. What they did is eventually they get conquered, and they get conquered in a few different ways. There's lots of famines and a lot of just natural disasters that happen, which weakens their power a lot. But they eventually then get conquered by the Ming Dynasty. But a lot of people suggest that the Mongols, known as the Yun Dynasty at the time, had actually kind of been conquered much before that. And it's kind of in a strange way, before the Ming Dynasty comes, they're kind of already conquered. And what I mean by that is most of all the Mongols who are in the Yun Dynasty at this time living in China are naming their children with Chinese names. They're basically practicing Chinese culture and Chinese religion. And in a lot of ways, they are more Chinese than the Chinese in some ways, because they just adapt to that culture very well, which made some of the other Mongols back in Mongolia kind of upset, and why it kind of disjointed the Yun Dynasty from the other Mongols, allowing the natural disasters in the Ming Dynasty to come in and be able to fully conquer them in 1368. So the Mongols don't have it for that long, about 100 years, give or take 50. And so that leads us to the Great Wall of China, which is something that is one of the biggest constructions that we all talk about in China today. And it was built to keep out the Mongols, and now they're kind of already out, but you don't want them to come back, so you're going to build the wall. Now, remnants in different pieces of this wall have already existed. They've been in Chinese history in all sorts of different forms for a very long time, but most of the Chinese wall that we see today, when we see pictures of it, or if you go to China and you're going to visit a part of the Chinese wall, you are most likely visiting and seeing pictures of the Chinese wall that was built by the Ming Dynasty all the way back in 1368. And so that's the Ming Dynasty. And then you still have China today on the map, so they're still very, very, very relevant. And so that is some brief history on China and the way that the BC and AD system work, and where they historically come from in their names. So that is some amazing history about China. But archery. Remember, the very first thing I mentioned to you was that in 1766 BC, this is the very first findings of evidence of archery. It's most likely sure that they were doing archery before that, but archery is evident in China before we even have any kind of written documentation of any kind of king or dynasty or civilization. So cities in existence don't exist, but the bow exists first. And that means that the bow is ingrained in Chinese culture and is very, very important, not only in war, but to the stories and the culture that they have about their heroes. And Captain Crow, he has found the history on one of these great heroes who the story is shrouded in heroism and history, but as well as myth and legend.
Yeah. So, the Chinese revered archers so much in their history that this story comes from their prehistory. It's a guy who they helped think basically shaped the world into how we know it is today. So according to Chinese legend, originally there were 10 suns that crossed the sky every day.
10 suns.
Yes. And they all went one at a time. Until one day they decided to all come out at once and scorch the earth, causing a massive drought and a lot of problems for all the people living there.
The suns just decided to all come out at the same time?
Yeah, they were just like, we're tired of going in a line, let's just all go out there and party together.
It's like 98 today. If there were 10 suns, it would be 98 times 10.
Right, that'd be like 998.
That would be way too hot.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of hot heat.
I'm now interested in what he does.
Right. So, the king had a problem, so he went and he found the most powerful archer in all of the land, and that archer's name was Hao Yi. And Hao Yi is similar to another mythological person who you might know. He was kind of like Hercules, where he was part divine and part human. So he wasn't quite a god, but at the same time, he wasn't quite a man either. So there's a little bit of difference. He was one step up from just your common person. So, there's 10 suns in the sky, so Hao Yi decides that he's gonna do the right thing and go talk to them first. So he went outside and yelled at the 10 suns that they should go away and go back to the way they used to cross the sky, or they're gonna have problems because he's going to take care of it. The suns decided to ignore him and kept scorching the earth. So Hao Yi got his bow out and shot down 9 of the suns. Once he got to 1 sun left, the king had to beg Hao Yi to not shoot down the last sun, so that way humanity could still have light during the day. Hao Yi then went on to do a bunch of other amazing mythical feats of strength. He fought a lion, a tiger, and a dragon, as well as other Chinese mythological creatures which I can't pronounce. So, one of the most important things to know about Hao Yi is that we actually have a written account of who this person was historically. So the mythology of him was that he shot 9 suns out of the sky. But historically, he was a tribal leader from before China's history. So we actually have writings of him as early as 296 BC that we found on bamboo scrolls. So this was before paper. They wrote out Hao Yi's story from way back in the day, from pre-civilization. So Hao Yi is from pre-civilization, but the writings are all the way back almost 300 BC. So the story of Hao Yi is super, super old and super important on why China is shaped the way it is today.
Awesome. That was super spectacular. Now, outside, Lady Fern has prepared for us an incredible challenge based on our own feats of archery strength and skill and ability that mixes our myth and legend all in one. So, we're going to go ahead and go on out to the fields of Shuland, and we'll see you there.
Jump cut!
Alright, let's go ahead. Let's go out there. welcome to the fields of Shulin. As you can see over here, Captain Crow is eagerly awaiting his chance to shoot down 9 of the suns, which are placed over here. Now, our suns are a little bit smaller than the real sun, but that's going to make it a little bit more difficult to shoot down. And we're going to go ahead and amp that fun excitement level up just a little bit. What we're going to actually do is everyone's going to get 3 arrows to shoot at the suns, and it is their job to knock as many of the suns down as they can. I guess there's actually 10 of them, so maybe just try to go for 9. You want to leave 1, otherwise we're going to have some other problems. But to make it more fun, one of us is actually going to be holding the suns, because this wooden thing can't hold all the suns. It'll crash under its weight. So we're going to be holding them on up, and if Captain Crow accidentally shoots one of us, well, that just makes it more fun, which is why today we're going to be using foam arrows that are specially designed to be shot at people for funsies. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do, and since I am up here first, it looks like I'll be the first one to try to hold all of the suns. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold all of them, so I might use the wooden thing to help me out. All right, let's go ahead and see how I'm going to do this. All right, here.
Well, first, let's try to shoot the ones that he's not holding.
Ah! Oh, you got some.
I got some.
I'm gonna move away.
Next, we'll try to hit the ones in his hand.
Ah! Ah!
That was his arm, not the...
You got some of them though.
I got a few. All right. Now he's going to turn around. Let's see if I can get more.
Ooh.
All right.
All
So
right,
you
those
got
are 3.
all but 3 of
So
them.
I got 6 out of the, or sorry, 7 out of the 10 suns.
7 out of the 10. So that's definitely less scorched. Definitely less scorched. All right.
Let's go ahead and switch spots.
Ugh. I'm gonna use the bow I normally use, Captain Crow, so I don't miss.
Ah, I know. I chose the cool-looking bow instead of one that I'm used to using.
Ah, that's probably why you hit me.
Probably.
Oh, it looks like Captain Crow has a different strategy. Oh.
Looks like a worm.
There you go. It looks like Sir Robin has destroyed all of the suns, thus losing the game.
Ah!
Rah, rah.
All right, Lady Fern, it is now your turn.
Choose to use the cool bow. It looks cool and interesting. Going to knock my bow. Wait. 1, 2. Oh. I nicked it. That was 3.
You have a few more left.
I think that was 3 arrows though.
Right, but Lady Fern got 8 of the 10 suns, making her the winner.
Yay! Now I guess it's time to go back inside for our usual
fun exercises. What do we say? Jump
With beautiful music. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do our usual fun exercises. First, we're gonna start with our arms. So, we're going to go ahead and take one arm and stretch it across our chest. Make sure you're looking up or at least straight forward and never looking down when you're doing these. And remember, if you're in the older kid class, you can always challenge yourself and do an extra set. Right now we're going to do 10 seconds. Ready? 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Excellent. Go ahead. Swing over the other one. Ready and go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Great. And we're going to take the one arm and put it across, up and over. This one is especially important. You keep looking up. And here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. And let's go ahead. Keep it moving. Swing that other arm up and over. And
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. Go ahead, shake it out for our arm circles. All right, remember, if you're older, try and do 20, but we're gonna do our first set of 10. Ready, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now swing it back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Excellent. Now we're gonna go ahead and run in place. We're gonna just do it for 10 seconds. So ready, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Woo! All right, now that we've warmed up our legs, let's go ahead and stretch them out. So we're gonna bend over and touch our toes for another 10 seconds. Ready, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. Now I want to do a new stretch that we haven't done before. It's one of my favorites. It's called what I like to call the flamingo. So you just go ahead and grab the back of your foot and try and balance. Once you find your balance, count to 10. Ready, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. Go ahead, grab that other foot. If you're struggling keeping your balance, I suggest keeping your knees as close together as possible. That is going to keep all of your center of gravity right down by your one foot, so you should be able to balance better. Here we go, 10 seconds, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, now we're going to do everyone's favorite exercise, which is the burpees. I'm only going to do 5, but I strongly suggest if you're older, you should definitely try and do 10, maybe 15 at home. But here we go. We're going to count when I go up. So ready, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Woohoo! Awesome. All right, now we're going to go ahead and finish up with the other favorite, and that's going to be push-ups. We're going to do 10. Ready? Here we go. Oh. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost there. 9 and 10. Woo! Good job, everyone. Now, I think that is all what I have. So let's go ahead, bring in Captain Crow and Sir Robin for whatever they have next.
China.
China. Or it was Mongolia at one point too.
But that's alright. Alright, so what we're gonna go ahead and do is your homework for today or this week is a little bit more challenging, I think, than the last couple.
Ooh.
Because you've been writing in with your wonderful stories of your own archers and your own legends. However, this time you're going to have to do a research on a country or a culture that exists in real life or history. So if it existed, 100 years ago, that's still, a real place. To research it and find one that has its own legendary archery character that we have not yet talked about. And I want you to go ahead and research it and tell me all of the things that you find out about this character and tell me what is their legendary mythical archery story. Are they just a mythical person, or are they somewhat real who also has a mythos attached to them or a legend attached to them, and their importance to that culture at the time and possibly still today? And I'm sure that you might find some wonderful different characters in any of the different countries that you look for. So you should be able to find them on almost every single continent that humans are on. Except one. Don't look for any in Australia. Australia, they never invented the bow and arrow, so don't look for any legendary archery characters in Australia. You'll just find a bunch of really, really cool history about the boomerang, which is cool,
But it's not a bow and arrow.
it's not a bow and arrow. So, also Antarctica. Cool continent, very snowy.
But I don't think penguins can shoot a bow and arrow, so I don't think you'll find any mythological people there either.
Excellent. So, look for your own in research and find out what you can and tell us all about it. Until then, bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Oh, we need to do our hands in.
Oh, hands in.
Hands in.
Hands in.
Hands
Hands
in. China on 3.
1, 2, 3. China!
China!
Bye.
Bye!
Bye.